Hi guys, it's Shredded Nerd here, and I want to share with you why I think Halo 5 is a Halo game in name alone. Now, before you just dismiss me as a quote-unquote hater, I need to state that I do actually enjoy Halo 5. The multiplayer is fun despite lack of content, and I found the campaign to be quite entertaining as well, even if it didn't really go anywhere with the story. Despite the good points, however, I have several reasons as to why I do not think Halo 5 should have been released as a Halo game. I will start with the things that make up the world and the atmosphere. This is mostly down to music, aesthetics, and story. Music is mostly a subjective thing, and in my opinion, both the Halo 4 and 5 soundtracks were very good. The issue, however, is that they are very far removed from previous Halos in so many ways. Halo has always had familiar themes in the music throughout the series, so when Halo 4 comes along and basically removes every track that the Halo series was known for, save one, which was used only in the credits, it completely changes the tone and feeling of the gameplay. Halo 5 improved on it a little by adding some reminiscent themes and many of the tracks, but still not bringing back the full tracks. The biggest issue with the music, however, is that it consists largely of action music when in gameplay. It doesn't have any subtle or unique tracks that were characteristic of the previous games, such as Under Cover of Night or Walk in the Woods, Perilous Journey, and so on. I found very few of the tracks particularly memorable in Halo 4 and 5 in the way those tracks were, and I honestly believe the Destiny soundtrack is closer to a classic Halo soundtrack than the Halo 4 and 5 soundtracks are. The next issue I have regarding atmosphere is the aesthetics. The game looks very different from previous games in almost every respect. Previous Halos had a particular refined art style. It was sort of clean in a way, and in my opinion was far better. Halo 4 and 5, however, have several issues regarding the visuals, the first of which being overcomplication. This is prevalent in the HUD, the weapons, and the environment. The weapons have way too many parts on them that don't seem to have any function and just produce more on-screen clutter. A good example of this is the shotgun. All the previous Halos had enough detail on the weapon to make it look interesting, but Halo 4 and 5's shotgun has so many unnecessary details that clutters it to the point where it no longer even looks like an actual shotgun. The HUD is all over the place as well, especially when using ADS. There are many unnecessary visual details that start to annoy the player after a while. The environment is overcomplicated as well. This doesn't seem to be too much of an issue at first, but it leads to poor textures and very static environments, by which I mean very few of the environmental objects such as leaves or trees, etc. move when they're in contact with the player or anything going on. The environments also look far less realistic as well. Everything is a comic book style to it. The other big issue with the visuals is that they have unnecessarily changed the look of pretty much everything to the point where it breaks canon and messes with the story. What I mean by this is that many of the returning story elements, such as the Forward Unto Dawn or Master Chief's armor, look completely different. One could say that the reason for this is just that 343 wanted to try a new style, and that would be completely fine. But the mistake they made was in trying to add a canon reason as to why everything looks different. They made many slip-ups as a result of this, like retconning things such as nanobots, which opens up heaps of other questions regarding the lore, and not providing any explanation as to why the Forward Unto Dawn is suddenly a completely different ship. The final issue regarding atmosphere is the story. In my opinion, it is an improvement over Halo 4, but to me that isn't actually saying much. The pacing is completely off and the narrative barely moved forward. The game was falsely advertised as well. The people marketing the game would have had us believe that we were going to be on some kind of hunt for a rogue soldier shrouded in lies and corruption. What we got instead was far from that. The hunt only lasted for about 3 or so missions, which resulted in a cool but ultimately pointless cutscene battle. The only time the campaign ever felt close to the originals was when you play on Sanghelios. Those few missions were easily the highlight of the campaign for me. In summary, the atmosphere of Halo 5 is barely anything like its predecessors as a result of what seems to be a completely different creative vision. But what about the gameplay? The gameplay is the other major point I need to talk about regarding Halo 5. This is where I really feel the game has drastically changed from its predecessors. I'm not going to say it is a COD or Destiny clone because frankly it isn't, but it isn't a Halo game either. It is really its own beast. It does have some things in common with older Halos such as power weapons, higher than average time to kill and arena style map layouts, and it does take cues from other games by introducing things such as ADS sprint and generally increased vertical mobility. It's a fusion of multiple types of FPS, and it does not really play like anything that has come before. This isn't bad at all, but it's not Halo. I really feel that from the very start, Halo 5 should not have been a Halo game. That isn't to say that I wish the game was never created. I feel that Halo 5 should have been a completely new arena multiplayer IP. The Halo brand is getting older, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it should be retired. What I am saying is that the Xbox cannot just bank on the Halo name alone anymore. They need new IPs if they hope to keep players interested. In conclusion, I feel that the gameplay style that 343 created in Halo 5 should have, and perhaps still could, be used for a completely new franchise, and I feel that if Microsoft should choose to continue using the Halo title, they should try to make a game that is closer to Halo's original roots and is able to fill the gap that has been empty for so many Halo fans since Reach, or even Halo 3 for some. There is still a place in the market for original Halo trilogy style of gameplay, and if Microsoft don't do anything with it, another developer will likely come in and try to appeal to what used to be Halo's market. So those are my thoughts. Share yours in the comments and help me out by liking and subscribing. This has been Shredded Nerd. Have a good one and see you next time.